This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
A lot of us stayed up late last night watching the football game.
Right. What is it called? Super Bowl Monday, when everybody calls in sick. Like millions of people across the country are going to be calling in sick today.
It's happened here already as well. Good morning. 5 o'clock. Right. Hope you're awake with us as well. If you stayed up late last night, you know what happened. The Eagles held on to beat the Patriots. We'll have more on that throughout the half hour.
That is right. It was a good game last night. Did you stay up past your bedtime to watch?
I did. Streetlights were firmly on. I still stayed up. An interesting game.
I did. It was good. It was a good game this year, I thought.
Very close game.
Very close.
Hey, John Scalzi, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. So I guess I get the Geek Award. I was watching radar, not the game.
It's all right. We appreciate that about you, John.
Yeah, we got a lot of rainfall. In fact, Tampa broke an all-time record for rainfall just a little bit to the north of us on the day. We came in with about 1/3 of an inch of rainfall, which is pretty good for this time of year. What we're showing you right here, this is the Cortez Bridge webcam. And clearly, over the course of the last 3 hours, the fog has rolled in. In fact, there's a dense fog advisory up for Manatee County, coastal Manatee County, because of the sea fog that's out there. That could lower your visibility. It's up till 9 o'clock, and you certainly could see visibilities below 1/4 mile, so keep that in mind. Right now, though, visibilities being reported at stations are not all that bad. 8 miles, 7 miles, not so bad, really. No rainfall, that's all gone now. Local temperatures coming in the mid to lower 60s. We, for your commute forecast, do have the fog highlighted this morning, especially for areas north of University. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
All right, thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. First off, in Manatee County, nothing much to speak of. Looking pretty clear this hour of the day. Let's go farther south now. In the northern half of Sarasota County, all clear so far. Quiet roads, and yeah, folks are certainly sleeping in right now. No activity we can speak of as far as congestion goes at 5:02 on this Monday morning. And now.
And our top story this hour, brush fires are burning across North Charlotte County. At least 12 fires have popped up.
Our Marla Spence is live now with the very latest on this story. Marla, good morning.
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, a busy night for investigators as they work to find out who would start a string of fires in Charlotte County that's suspected to be arson. Now, according to the Port Charlotte County Sheriff's Department, about 13 fires broke out in an area in Charlotte County. Yesterday, 13 fires were reported to fire and EMS, and according to a map on the Florida Forest website, 7 fires were reported near El Jobin Road, 2 near Charlotte Beach, 2 near Veterans Boulevard, 1 near East Hillsborough Boulevard, and 1 near Loring Drive. Now, deputies were asking people in the community to help them with this investigation. They said that a suspicious vehicle was seen in the area of those fires, and the vehicle was described to be a red older model 4-door car that could possibly have been occupied by 2 young people. And according to Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, a 1-mile section of the road of Jacob Street and State Road 776 was closed down during that investigation. But as of this morning, we are being told that that road is currently open for any commuters looking to head into work or to school this morning. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Marla. For the latest on this story and breaking news, check out our latest app at the App Store. It's at WWSB and My Suncoast. Well, you're looking live now at the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where it is a chilly morning.
It is -1 and actually feels like -9. That's what it's like. That is what it's like today. We'll take our 60 degrees any day.
Oh, you're exactly right. I finally found out what that building is shaped like. It's supposed to be like a Viking ship.
Oh, is it really? I was trying to figure that out last night, too, when they were doing, like, drone shots and things like that.
Yeah, unusual architecture there for that stadium, but a big place to be last night, that's for sure.
Oh, my goodness. Some controversy, some history made for the underdogs. A city turned purple for a moment, and for once, a pretty decent game to watch. It was all about the Super Bowl last night.
ABC's Maggie Rulli has the highlights.
Overnight, thousands of Philly fans packed the streets of downtown Philadelphia.
I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this all my life.
And yes, they climbed on just about everything. It's a celebration decades in the making.
And for the Philadelphia Eagles, the long drought is over. Finally.
Against the odds and with backup QB Nick Foles, the Eagles soared over the Patriots 41-33.
You worked so hard your whole life to get here. everything culminates.
Bringing home the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the first time in franchise history.
This championship means more to this city than a lot of championships mean to others.
It means everything to the people. The Philadelphia metro area needs this, and we've waited a long time.
Earning congrats from the president to Rocky himself. Their historic win robs Tom Brady and the Patriots from getting a record-tying 6th Super Bowl victory.
But we just obviously didn't get the job done.
As for the night's other stars, Pink battled through the flu, singing a pitch-perfect national anthem. Justin Timberlake was a one-man halftime show delivering all of his greatest hits. And he gave the world perhaps the real champ from Super Bowl 52, Selfie Kid.
Super Bowl selfies.
The big game day may be over, but now comes the big day for air travel. The Minneapolis airport's expecting 70,000 people today. Their previous record, around 47,000. Right now, they're telling travelers to get there at least 4 hours before their flight. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Meantime, a former Suncoast football standout was involved in a trick play last night that worked out very well. Trey Burton played for the Venice High School football team before he went on to play for the Florida Gators. Well, last night he threw the touchdown pass at 4th and goal to quarterback Nick Foles. Now here it is. Crazy play. He gets the ball and throws it to the quarterback. It was 4th and goal.
So crazy.
Huge, aggressive play that gave the Eagles a 10-point lead. Much of Venice was watching the game very closely thanks to Trey Burton's participation.
Even if you were not an Eagles fan or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're a Trey Burton fan and you want him to go bring home the championship.
Trey deserves all of it. You know, he comes back and he still is involved in our community and still is involved with our players on the team.
Well, Brady and the Patriots would come out firing, though, in the second half, mostly to Rob Gronkowski, who caught about 5 balls on the opening drive in the second half. But Nick Foles answered back with a third-down dime to Corey Clement right there in the end zone. That was reviewed. Eagles down 1 with under 3 minutes to go. Then Foles again hit tight end Zach Ertz there in the end zone. Well, this play would seal it, though, ensuing possession for Patriots. Brady is stripped of the ball by a former teammate, Chris Long. Eagles win their first Super Bowl 41-33. And the former backup, Nick Foles, is the MVP with 4 touchdowns in the game. Wow.
Very incredible. Well, today Governor Scott will travel to Puerto Rico to offer help regarding ongoing Hurricane Maria recovery efforts. He's going to be meeting with Puerto Rico's governor, emergency management officials, and visiting utility line workers from Florida on the island. Now, through a press release, Governor Scott said he is proud of the work that Florida has done to help Puerto Rico and state officials. They're going to continue to do all that they can to make sure that they all have the resources to help them get back on their feet. Now, since Hurricane Maria hit the island back in September, the majority of the island has regained power. Full recovery of the electrical grid is expected sometime this month. Well, it is not -1 like it is in Minnesota, but it has been cold here. And one thing that we've learned about in this latest cold snap is just how much it affects the Florida wildlife. Now, the latest 35 manatees across Florida died as a result of the cold stress syndrome in January. That's according to a report from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Now, those deaths were recorded between January the 1st and January the 26th and are 5 times as many deaths as compared to the same time frame from last year. Now, cold stress syndrome can occur when manatees and other marine mammals encounter water that goes below 68 degrees for an extended period.
The Coast Guard is celebrating what they call a major win in the war on drugs. Last December, they seized $47 million worth of cocaine during 2 busts off the coast of Puerto Rico. The 2-ton haul arrived in St. Petersburg on Friday morning.
In South Florida, a disgruntled employee is caught on surveillance video throwing hot water into a man's face. Now, he says she was upset over a recent meeting with him and 2 other supervisors.
Shocked, I crouched down and felt my skin sizzling.
Now, despite those burns, you can actually see him chase after the woman, trying to hold her down, yelling at those nearby to call the police. The woman managed to leave, but she was later arrested at her home, according to police. Now, Salcido suffered 2nd-degree burns, but says he forgives her.
Wow.
That is some crazy video right there.
Good.
Disgruntled employee.
Good to have that video available. Otherwise,
yeah, it's very valuable.
he said, she said, but now you got video to prove what happened.
Yes.
Well, a lot of news still to come. In fact, next we've got First Alert weather and traffic, and last night's episode of This Is Us has us all thinking about fire safety. We'll show you how to avoid a tragedy.
No spoilers, we promise, because we haven't seen it yet. It was past our bedtime. Right. And still to come, if you've ever worked as a server in a restaurant, you know how important those tips are. Coming up, a new law that may put those tips in the hands of restaurant owners instead. We'll have that story for you.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing, but sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So through 9 o'clock this morning, we have a dense fog advisory up for Manatee County, particularly Lakewood Ranch, Myakka, and especially coastal areas could see some visibilities reduced to a quarter mile or less. In fact, we have reports of that already this morning. So allow yourself a little extra time. That is not to say, of course, that if you live on the other side of University, you aren't going to see any dense fog. You know, these are just advisories, and of course, your area may vary, so just watch for that this morning. Some patchy fog. That'll burn off pretty quickly, I think. We have a frontal boundary sinking southward through the area this morning, and as it does that, our winds are going to shift around. Some drier air will filter in. Once the sun builds, we'll start to see a little bit of mixing begin to take place, and this fog will be gone pretty quickly. And it could be the last time this week that we deal with such fog. 62 degrees by 7. By the time we get to noon, I think we'll have some sun mixed with clouds out there. We're going to take a little while to get rid of the clouds, but we will eventually. 69 degrees by noon, and then by 3 p.m. pickup time for the kids, 74 degrees, and I think by then we will have a lot of sunshine around. A warmer than average morning temperature, by the way, or afternoon temperature, and then as we head into the evening, 67 degrees. We are on a string of warm days this week. 63, the current air temperature. Yes, we do have some clouds around, and yes, in some locations we do have some patchy fog, but otherwise, it's a pretty nice morning. We don't have any of the rain that we had around yesterday. That's gone. Dew point values coming in at 63, so is the air temperature. So clearly there is a lot of humidity out there, 100% in fact. Watch the Futurecast. We'll take it hour by hour for you. Winds out of the north. The front itself located just to our north. Dew points are falling. The temperatures are falling a little bit, although the coldest air is going to be locked further to the north, and we don't get a real blast of cold air with this front. It'll just lower our temperature, you know, a degree or two from where we were yesterday. We hit 78 yesterday. We'll probably hit 75 today. The frontal boundary sinks southward. We start to see some breaks in the clouds beginning as we head into the mid-morning and afternoon. And by the time we hit lunchtime, I think we'll be on the cusp of full sunshine. As we head into the afternoon, sun will be around, the winds will shift east, the temperatures will warm, and we will start on a roll toward a string of beautiful warm afternoons and days. Nothing in the way of any kind of rainfall today or tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover rolling in during the overnight, but not much. There is our satellite view showing those breaks in the clouds. That's what will be coming on our heels as we head into tomorrow. North wind coming in at about 10. We'll look for a light chop 2-foot seas in the forecast. Shaping up like this. Today we get up to about 75. A little bit of sun mixed with some clouds over the course of the next several days. Actually, we start to warm into the 80s each and every day. By the time we hit Saturday, we'll factor in a slight chance at a shower. But all in all, this week is going to be a pretty simple forecast. Warm, sunny, and just beautiful weather. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic. Like you mentioned, it is a little foggy in some spots, so give yourself a little bit of extra time this morning. Let's start off in Manatee County. Nothing too much to see here. The roads are pretty much smooth. A little slowdown right there on southbound 301 and a little bit on Fruitville Road. If you're heading into North Sarasota, looking on this map, this one's running pretty good too. The roads are running pretty smooth, not too much congestion this time in the morning. And then in South Sarasota, again, the roads are looking pretty good this time in the morning too, like we mentioned. A little bit of fog that's still out there, so be careful in some of those spots. And that is your first alert traffic. And this is a time where we do not give you spoilers on the new episode of This Is Us that aired after the Super Bowl. It was the much talked about and anticipated episode. We have not seen it yet. Many people have not seen it yet if you fell asleep a little early. But it involved a faulty crock pot, a fire, and the loss of a beloved character, which we all know.
Yeah, we know that much. But anyway, ever since talk of the episode aired, the safety of crock pots has been called into question now. Reporter Case Wilbank shows us how easily fires could happen.
It was a devastating blow to the millions of fans of This Is Us watching the apparent demise of a main character. But just as shocking as it was to seize the sobering facts from those who deal with these situations.
There's always a chance.
Captain Kevin Ivey says what you see is often what you get when you aren't careful in the kitchen.
There's always a chance that, you know, anything that's energized, it could catch on fire. You know, especially if it's old, if it's worn out.
It was a faulty slow cooker that was given to the fictional family secondhand that sparks the flames. Ivey says that risk goes beyond just cooking equipment.
You know, if you have something like that, make sure just to either get that one repaired professionally or just go buy you a new one. You know, I realize at times it could be a little expensive to buy that, but it's a whole lot better than actually losing your life over trying to save $10 or $20.
The damaging TV blaze also comes because smoke detector batteries had not been changed.
Make sure that you check those monthly and that we recommend that you change the batteries twice a year. Each time, whenever you know you change the time in the spring and in the fall, change those batteries.
Other tips from the fire experts to keep this TV plot line from becoming real include having the right number of alarms and make sure everyone knows what they sound like. Have a family communications plan, as well as 2 clear paths to escape your home. Practice twice a year.
The Red Cross recommends that you, when you do those fire drills, you try to be outside of the house in under 2 minutes, because every minute with the fire, you know, it grows real fast.
Every minute and every life counts, so don't risk it by going back inside.
Most of the time, you know, if you go back in, more than likely there's a chance you won't be coming out.
All right, some very good advice there. I don't think I'm ready to watch that episode yet,
No,
though.
I know. So meantime, Crockpot says that cannot happen.
Right, Crockpot's like, no, it's fine. Our products are good.
Don't worry about it.
They even had a spot during the Super Bowl with Milo Ventimiglia and talking about crockpots. He did like kind of a crockpot.
Oh, is that right?
thing.
This
did,
might
yes.
come out even better for them now.
I'm telling you,
all the
crockpot,
attention.
yes, that's right. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Best Buy says it's going to stop selling CDs. Oh, what that means for the music industry and who is also likely to follow.
And next half hour, Bradenton parents on high alert after witnesses say a man tried to lure a 10-year-old girl into his car. Those stories and more when we come back.
If you're between 50 and 85 years old, call the number on your screen right now for free information on how to save your family thousands of dollars. We're Family Love Plans, and we've been helping families just like yours for over 30 years. The average funeral today can cost up to $10,000 or more, but the most you'll get from government benefits is just $255. How will your family pay the difference? At Family Love Plans, we can help you and your family. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam and your plan can't be canceled. Better still, your rate will never go up and your benefits will never go down. Get your free information about our senior plans. Just answer a few simple questions and receive approval right over the phone.
Call 1-800-707-3608. That's 1-800-707-3608.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the two newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Here's a live picture up at our tower camera, the Osprey Cam, now seen in black and white.
It's very artistic on this Monday morning.
Yes, it is. We have plenty of new and local uploads to our respective Facebook pages. If you get a chance, I put some things up there from a nice sunset in Venice I saw on Saturday.
That's right, you have all kinds of good stuff on there.
I met a viewer named Chris Hassler who said, "Tell Stephanie to mess up your hair more."
Okay, I'm going to work on that for you.
That was her first
during
concern.
Commercial break.
Yes.
All right, that sounds good. I like that. And be sure to check us out on Instagram as well. We both have personal Instagram accounts. And then the big one, My Suncoast, is brand new. All kinds of behind-the-scenes features, as well as daily news updates on that as well. All right, the Federal Reserve is coming down hard on Wells Fargo Bank following its fake account scandal. The Fed said Friday that Wells Fargo will not be allowed to grow any bigger. That is, until it proves that it has cleaned up its act. Wells Fargo has admitted that its workers created 3.5 million potentially fake bank accounts. The bank also forced more than 500,000 customers to buy car insurance they didn't need. Wells Fargo agreed in advance to those conditions. In addition to putting the brakes on its growth, the bank is also going to replace 4 of its board members and improve its risk management. And the Department of Labor is proposing a new rule which, if approved, could leave the restaurant owner with a tip instead of the actual server. Now, the proposed federal changes allow employers to legally pocket tips servers earned at restaurants. Now, supporters say it levels the playing field by allowing the owner to pool all of the tips together and then distribute them to everyone, including dishwashers and cooks and others who aren't usually tipped in that process. Now, critics say history shows employers would just keep the money themselves. A study from the Center for Urban Economic Development found 12% of those tipped workers had tips stolen by employers or supervisors. Now, the Department of Labor is taking public comment on this one through tomorrow, and then they're going to make a decision after that.
My new pet peeve on tipping is you go to the counter, let's say a Panera Bread, and you order your salad at the desk, and then they say, okay, do you want to tip the clerk for doing that?
Right, there is. You wonder, like, what are the tip limits sometimes? Like, who do you tip? Who do you not tip?
You got to tip the clerk thanks to taking your order.
Well, they are providing a service, and you got to keep in mind they're also working at minimum wage.
So it's a whole new world.
Yes, I was a former server, a terrible one back in the day, but I do relate.
Should we get tips for this job then?
No.
Should we put a tip jar out tomorrow?
Well, let's try it. We'll see what happens. We'll get 11 cents. We'll tell you it's going to be great. All right. Well, it might soon be more difficult to buy CDs with all of our tip money in stores.
You feeling old now?
I feel real old this morning.
Will vinyl ever come back? Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, could this be the end of the CD?
With sales dropping by nearly 19%, there are reports Best Buy has told music suppliers that they will stop selling CDs in stores on July 1st, and Target could be next.
A trial over self-driving technology gets underway in San Francisco today, pitting Uber against Google's spin-off Waymo.
So Waymo is accusing Uber of ripping off trade secrets about self-driving cars.
And at the Super Bowl, the left shark, so 3 years ago.
Yeah, this year, people on social media were talking about Tom Brady's coat. When he arrived at the stadium, some people said he looked like a Bond villain.
Justin Timberlake's tribute to Prince was also a big talker in the late star's hometown. And then the selfie kid, who snapped a spontaneous pic with Justin Timberlake. He says his phone's blowing up and he'll be on GMA later this morning.
He is a star, no doubt. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by United Healthcare.
Whoa. We got a situation here.
I've never seen anything like that. Will you get my phone, please?
You're not taking a picture of this.
No, I want a video chat with a doctor.
Need a doctor after hours? United Healthcare can help. See a doctor right on your phone, right from your home.
Is that normal?
That's normal for a new baby.
And what about him?
Hey, Doc.
That's normal for a new parent.
United Healthcare.
Hurry into PetSmart for the lowest prices of the month. Buy one, get one free on select small bags of dog food. Plus, get 2 pails of Tidy Cats litter for $20. Great deals, great savings at PetSmart for the love of pets.
I try hard to keep a great shape, but it doesn't always come naturally. This I can do easily. Benefiber Healthy Shape is a 100% natural prebiotic fiber that's clinically proven to help me feel fuller longer. Benefiber Healthy Shape, this I can do.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
You shop around for the best prices on everyday products. But when it comes to your health care,
nobody has any idea what things cost.
Doctors and hospitals within blocks of each other charging different prices for the same procedure.
That doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense.
Investigator Lee Zarek exposes a secret some medical professionals don't want you to know and shows you how to put the purchasing power back in your hands. Costly Care, an ABC 7 investigation tonight at 6.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on the Riverview man in jail this morning after police say he planned to kidnap singer Lana Del Rey before her concert in Orlando over the weekend.
The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office is continuing to investigate a string of fires. I'm live at the Florida Forest Service with an update on this investigation.
And if Petland was told not to sell pets in Sarasota County, some wonder if they're still doing it. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back to you on this Monday morning, 5:31, the day after Super Bowl. We're all a little tired out there this morning.
The alarm clock came early today, indeed.
Yes, it did.
Well, I got to give John Scalzi credit because he had said all last week, Sunday afternoon starts to turn south. I was in Tampa yesterday afternoon.
Oh, so much rain.
Yeah.
So much rain.
Said, wow, Scalzi said it was going to happen. And sure enough, it got dark.
Thank you. Yeah, it was breezy yesterday, too, before the rains came. And then in Tampa, you broke an all-time record for the day yesterday. And we got some pretty good rainfall around here as well. Came in with, I believe it was about 0.43 inches of rain, almost half an inch of rainfall. And normally on the day, we would have seen just a little over a trace, a few hundredths of an inch. So we did pretty well. This morning, we are paying for that rainfall with a little bit of fog out there. In fact, the fog dense in places. We're looking at a dense fog advisory up through 9 o'clock this morning. Forecast for today calls for a warm afternoon, dry right straight through into the weekend with mostly sunny skies. We'll talk all about that forecast in the next hour. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic now. You'll see on State Road 70 some buildup in the westbound lane as you head toward US 41. Otherwise, pretty clear so far in Manatee County. Farther south still, besides one little slowdown there on Bee Ridge in the eastbound lane. Pretty quiet so far around Old Beneva and McIntosh there. And our final map for the south will show us a little buildup there as you get off I-75 and head off on 681 toward 41. Some congestion right now at 533.
And our top story this morning, brush fires in Charlotte County.
It continues to be an issue there. Let's go live to Marla Spence, live out in the field with details. Marla, good morning.
Ray and Stephanie, a busy night for investigators as they work to find out who are the people behind those brush fires in Charlotte County. Now, according to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, about 13 fires in that area were reported to fire and EMS. According to a map on the Florida Forest Service website, 7 fires were seen near El Jobin Road, 2 near Charlotte Beach, 2 near Veterans Boulevard, 1 near East Hillsborough Boulevard, and 1 near Loring Drive. Now, these fires caused a 1-mile section of Jacob Street and State Road 776 and Biscayne and State Road 7076 to be closed. Now, we are being told this morning that those roads are now open for anyone commuting this morning. In the meantime, deputies are continuing to ask for the public's help in identifying a suspicious older red 4-door car that was last seen in the area of those fires. Deputies say at the time of the fires, 2 young men were possibly in that car, and they're also ruling those 13 fires as an arson this morning. So anyone with any information or if they saw anything, they are urged to call police. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you, Marla. Well, tragic Sunday morning in South Carolina where a Miami-bound Amtrak train collided with a freight train. It killed an Amtrak worker or 2 and injured dozens of passengers.
And ABC's Serena Marshall has the latest on the 4th fatal incident involving an Amtrak train since the start of December.
A switch in a wrong position, the likely cause of a deadly head-on train collision.
There was bodies everywhere. The seats came up off the floor.
Nearly all of the 139 passengers of the 7-car Amtrak train injured.
It just derailed me. I just felt it go up and I was in the floor. I don't remember much after that.
The impact was bad, man. It ripped my chair right off the floor.
2 Amtrak workers, the conductor and an engineer, died in the crash.
We've had a train derailment at Charleston Highway and Pine Ridge Drive.
Investigators say a track switch was set in a position that forced the Amtrak train off the main track and onto a side track where a parked freight train sat. According to Amtrak, signals were down and the owner of the tracks, freight rail company CSX, was in charge of the tracks and the traffic.
Was aligned for the trains coming down this way to be diverted into the siding. So the bottom line is the CSX train is parked in the siding.
The investigation is ongoing with NTSB investigators on the scene.
We have not been able to even find the event recorder at this time, the event data recorder for either train. So we do not know until we get the event recorders if the Amtrak train applied brakes.
The freight company offered condolences to the families of those who were killed and said it is working with the investigative team.
The crash investigators say was avoidable, and their investigation will focus on why the switch wasn't put back in place to allow the Amtrak train to continue moving down the main track. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
A follow-up now on a social media warning. Facebook released a statement regarding an explicit video that's been popping up nationwide and also here on the Suncoast. Graphic video shows a child being exploited sexually, and now federal and state officials are conducting what they call a very aggressive investigation. The problem is people have been sharing it, hoping to help catch the person who did it, but investigators say that's not a good idea.
You're disseminating child porn, and that's a felony. If you are in possession of it, it is all, no matter your good intentions, it is also a felony. So in this case, it's very disturbing that people feel like it's okay to post something awful happening to a child on social media.
All right, Facebook's statement: we do not allow the sharing of child exploitive images on Facebook or Messenger, even to express outrage. Regardless of intention, sharing such imagery is harmful and illegal. When we become aware of such images, we remove them and notify the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We urge people never to share such content and report it to local authorities immediately.
A Bradenton neighborhood is on high alert this morning after witnesses say a man tried to lure a 10-year-old girl into his car. According to the child's mother, Rolando Batista, who you're seeing here, had driven past their home on 13th Street East in Bradenton several times. Now, reportedly, the little girl had been walking in the front yard to a neighbor's house when Batista parked his car and told her to get in so they could go to the park. The little girl instead ran to tell her mother. Witnesses confronted the suspect and detained him until deputies arrived. He was arrested and then he was released on bond.
Florida police found a missing woman who was kidnapped from a gas station near Daytona. Her kidnapping was caught on surveillance cameras, but keep in mind 22-year-old Demoya Davis actually arrived at the store with the man who then kidnapped her. Sort of odd. Witnesses said she was seen on the phone trying to get help. The man physically dragged her to the car, forced her inside, and then drove away. Police have not released any details, though, about her condition. They're still searching for that kidnapper.
And a strange story over the weekend. A Florida man is in jail for allegedly threatening to kidnap pop star Lana Del Rey before a concert in Orlando. Now, in a statement posted Saturday on Twitter, Orlando police say officers arrested Michael Sean Hunt on Friday night outside the Amway Center where Del Rey was getting ready to perform. Now, the statement said authorities had received a tip about Hunt making a possible kidnapping threat to Lana, whose real name is Elizabeth Grant. Now, he says he's innocent.
Surrounded by a bunch of detectives and officers and put in handcuffs and brutally forced into a situation and put in the back of a vehicle. Nobody explaining anything to me whatsoever.
Police said that Hunt, who had been arrested 61 times, was carrying a ticket to the concert and a knife when he was arrested about a block away from the venue. He was held Sunday without bail on charges of attempted kidnapping with a weapon and aggravated stalking with a credible threat.
It has been 1 year since an ordinance banned the commercial sale of dogs and cats in Sarasota County, but some residents are asking why Petland is still selling dogs at their store on Fruitville Road. Sarasota County approved that puppy mill ordinance in January 2016, giving stores like Petland a 1-year grace period. We're past the deadline now, but Petland is in a lawsuit with the county claiming the ordinance is unconstitutional. The county filed a counterclaim, and now the courts will decide if the ordinance is indeed enforceable. According to court documents, Petland claims it is a hobby breeder, but the county says the retailer sold 90 puppies per month in 2015, too many to be put in that category.
Our shelters are full of stray dogs or dogs that need to be adopted. There's any kind of dog you can think of is in a shelter. If you want a specific breed, all you have to do is go online and look up rescues, and you can find everything from puppies up to seniors of that breed. They're out there. You don't need to be paying thousands of dollars for a possibly sick dog here at Petland.
Petland also tried to compare the situation to that of Sarasota County Animal Services, but the county argues their shelter doesn't operate for profit. For more on this story and many others, check out our new app at the App Store under WWSB or under My Suncoast. 5:41 right now. Still ahead, John Scalzi's forecast, also first alert traffic, and flu season may give you a good reason to give up your New Year's resolutions.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Keep going, please. We'll show you some lifestyle changes you can make to avoid getting sick up next in Health Smart.
And fireworks and big crowds mark Super Bowl celebrations in Philadelphia. We'll show you how Eagles fans took to the news of the big win last night and are probably still celebrating this morning. It's all coming up right after this.
There's a live picture of where it all happened last night. U.S. Bank Stadium, the only stadium shaped like a Viking ship.
That is right.
Minneapolis.
It is -1 out there, and it still feels like, no, it's moved up to 0 now. Moved up to 0.
By the way, next half hour, we'll talk about Super Bowl ads with a live local guest who deals with advertisements. That's coming up today on Good Morning Suncoast.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the two newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC 7 to get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. ABC 7, we're here for you. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we will watch temperatures steadily climb this morning. We do have some fog around. It's dense along the coastline of Manatee and even inland as far as Lakewood Ranch. Visibility is reduced down to a quarter mile in some pockets. Not everywhere, but in some places. So watch for that on your morning commute, especially in Manatee County. That's up till 9 o'clock. Once we have a cold front move through here this morning, and it's really just on our doorstep right now, we'll start to see some drier air filter in. The sun will come up. It'll start to mix the air, and that fog will be gone pretty quickly. By about 7 o'clock this morning, we'll hit a temperature of about 62. There still will be some fog around, certainly, by the time we get to about noon, especially in the Gulf waters. Watch for that, especially the further north you go. But I think that'll burn off pretty quickly by about mid-morning into the noontime hour. 69 degrees with a partly cloudy sky as the front moves through. Then more sunshine as we get into the afternoon. A lot more sunshine, in fact. We'll have 74 degrees, warmer than average temperature this afternoon. And in fact, over the next several days, we'll see those temperatures continue to climb till we get to close to the 80-degree mark this week. The whole week will be above average in temperature. A little bit of cloud cover out there, a little bit of fog in Manatee County, 63-degree air temperature, dew point the same. That gives us that 100% relative humidity. Winds fairly light out of the west-southwest. The satellite view shows the cloud cover that's around. It also shows some clearing to the north of us. The front located just about now moving into Tampa Bay. A zone of transition to some lower dew point values will be seen as those winds shift north for us here locally. The front producing a trail of thunderstorms and showers out in Atlantic waters and moving out into Gulf waters, where the tail end of it becomes a warm front, will continue to press southward across the state of Florida today as high pressure builds in. That high will scoot toward the east. As it does that, the tail end of the front returns back to the north as a warm front, triggering some showers back to the west. I don't think we'll have any problems with that, though. We stay in the dry air associated with that high pressure ridge. We'll look for mostly sunny skies for today, lower relative humidity for a brief period of time before the winds shift once again and bring that moisture back by tomorrow morning, and a warmer than average week ahead. May have some patchy fog around tomorrow morning. I don't think it'll be as bad as it is this morning in some places. In fact, it should be not a big deal for the remainder of the week as that drier air filters in. Check out the temperature trend. Now, these are low temperatures forecast this week, and what you'll notice is that despite the fact that this front moves through, we really don't see a lot of cold air associated with it. In fact, our temperatures continue to stay pretty flat this week and pretty warm. We'll look for a north wind coming in at about 10, switching to the northeast at about 10, and then eventually to the east once again overnight. As we get into that east wind, that'll help to draw back a little bit more moisture, and that will tend to bring us a little bit of more moisture toward tomorrow morning. 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. So your forecast kind of shaping up like this for today. A daytime high coming in at around 75, mix of sun and fair weather clouds. And then as we head into the week ahead, yeah, this should be just a delightful week. Midweek, we do have a little bit of a front coming through, could cloud us up briefly, but then it'll also bring in some drier air for the second half of Thursday and Friday. We do have another front approaching on the weekend. That brings us a slight chance of rain showers, about a 20% chance. But other than that, temperatures well above average. I hope you like warm weather because that's what you're going to see this week. Back to you guys.
All right, let's take a look at your first alert traffic out there. Not too much going on, just your usual slowdowns. You've got some slowdowns on State Road 70 as well. If you're heading into North Sarasota this morning, the roads there are looking pretty good. Nothing too much to see in that area. We have some slowdowns on some of the roads that are typical right around Fruitville Road and University Parkway. That Diamond Interchange is always busy around this time in the morning as well. And then in South Sarasota, not much to see on there. 550 on your first alert traffic. And this hour's Health Smart. If you thought the flu was getting better, think again.
Ask her.
Yes, ask me.
So what are some things you can do to stay safe besides keeping your co-anchor at a certain distance? Doctors say it's all about keeping your body defenses strong. Exercising is good, but don't get too much, they say. Okay, I promise I won't.
Okay.
And watch the sleep. I know.
We can more sleep.
Yeah, always. Okay. And if your New Year's resolution has you on a low-carb diet, rethink that as well.
When you go on a low-carb diet, you cut out your whole grains, which are all good things to help put good bacteria into your body, and those good bacteria help fight other bacteria and viruses.
Well, the same goes for stress. Too much of it can weaken your body's response to the flu. Doctors suggest minimal contact if possible. Wipe down keyboards, avoid shaking hands, offer a fist bump. Avoid touching appliances, smartphones, and anything that can be contaminated.
In other words, erect a very large bubble around oneself.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
Yes.
All right, finally this hour, the Philadelphia Eagles are the 2018 Super Bowl champs. Hometown fans cheered the team on all the way, making for an even more special win. Of course, they took to the streets last night to celebrate. Luckily, officials thought ahead. They greased the light poles to prevent any climbing, but they didn't lock down the cars. Unfortunately, you can see in this video, fans literally flipping one of the cars over on its side, because that's how we show excitement. Listen, fly Eagles fly. Y'all won a Super Bowl. We can fix that car.
All right, shifting gears now quite a bit at 5:51. This is indeed a sharp turn, but
yes.
There was a terrible thing yesterday morning in South Carolina. 2 killed, 100 over 100 were injured after 2 trains collided, a freight train and a passenger train. Another setback for Amtrak. We'll have more on this story and more news next hour here on Good Morning Suncoast.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Everyone likes the 2018 Honda Civic for $169 a month. You made Civic a best-selling compact car in America. You'll like Civic's 5-star safety ratings and that KBB.com named Civic a best buy and the most awarded car. Get the 2018 Civic at a payment you'll love. $169 a month today at your local Honda dealer.
Honda, I like it.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking a full-time receptionist/accounts payable administrator. AP or general accounting experience preferred. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast this morning.
For the first time, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. They held on to beat the favored Patriots. Final score was 41-33. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles was the game MVP.
Plus, a new report from Florida Fish and Wildlife finds that 35 manatees died during January's cold spell. That's 5 times as many as last year at this time. All right, coming up in the next half hour, we're going to tell you about today's career fair at Selby Library, but we have a very special guest that is coming in that's going to be big.
Yeah, also next half hour, we'll talk about those commercials last night, the ads in the Super Bowl last night. Did you like any? Did you not like some?
That's right. Do they work? Do they really work? All that money that they spend. I can't wait to talk to him. It's going to be interesting.
We'll have a local marketing executive come into our studios and talk about his favorites and least favorites, and you can chime in yours as well on our social media. That's next hour on Good Morning Suncoast.